Welcome to Cities Skylines Mass Transit and the city of Rock Valley. And in the last part we were working on this area here. We put down lots of unique buildings and some monuments just to discuss how they actually work and how things come together. I'm quite happy with the way the city's functioning, and what I've done, guys, is I have turned on after dark. So at the moment the sun's there, but eventually the city is going to go dark. And just because I like to look at the city here when in night cycle, it's a bit of a pain when you're actually trying to build a city. But once the city gets to a certain size, I think playing with the after dark on is quite fun. Now, what I want to do in this part is deal with this. You can see here my rail network has become an absolute nightmare. And that's because I've got all these crossing lines here, which is not helping at all. And partly is that I've got trains coming in here. I mean, it's easing off a little bit, but I do need to do something about this. I think we're good this way. I think the real problem is this line here, because what we've got is, well, if I show you guys, let's get back out of here and get back to normal mode. What's actually happening is that if I come out here, we've only got the one road access, and if I click on here, you'll see that we get a lot of goods traffic coming in here, coming down to the station. And what's happening is a lot of it's all coming across into this area, and you can see it's now getting dark. And it looks really cool. I like this. Let's have a look around the city as the lights come on. The sun goes down. See the blimps are lighting up. Even got a little bit of lighting in the blimps here, guys. As you go there and go. And of course, over here, this is where the distinct buildings and monuments come into their own. As I say, we've got the illumination on here. I mean, I think it really starts to make the city looking good. So we got a bit of Aurora Borealis going as well. The moon over there, and of course you come right in and have a look at the city. This is one of the pleasures, guys. And I spot traffic lights. Well, we're certainly gonna that. Yeah. No traffic lights allowed in this city. I know the traffic isn't high, but I want the traffic to flow. Should have taken these off. I think that's probably where I put in these extra loops along this side here. There's some traffic lights there. You even get traffic lights on the emergency shelter there, which is really crazy. Okay. Yeah, so this is what the city looks like at night. Say it makes the city come alive. You can see the highway coming in the distance there. And we've got this whole city over here, of course. Over here, let's have a look at the ferries. Can I find any ferries? Yeah, there's some ferries here. Even got the old ferries plying their trade at night. With the navigation lights, port and starboard. A little bit high on the mast, but. And even got the fire towers illuminated here. So the city really comes to alive when at night, and it's fun. But the downside you can see here very much in evidence that when it's dark you cannot build very well. I don't know. I think the train system has eased off a little bit. I think we can improve it a little bit, because what's actually happening at the moment is we've got trains coming through here, looping right round to deliver here. So I think what we can do is, the positive side of building in the dark is that you can actually see your outlines. Hopefully that will work. Oh, bugger. Okay. This is one of the downsides with just get that in there. Take this out. That. Oh, saying we got a problem. Water's getting a little bit low. Let's keep an eye on that. And what was I doing? Rail cargo. Yeah. It was. And what I want to do is run this line fairly close and quite a long way. Like that. And what that will do is power, of course we've got unlimited power now. Well, this will mean that trains that they want to deliver to this side of the city can actually just come up through here. It takes a little while to take effect, and the other area I want to kind of work on is, I think what we can do is take out that line and just, I think we're just up one. I don't want this to actually. And I think what we can do, just for the moment, is delete these. We'll have to disconnect. It's going to cause disruption to the city, but maybe we'll just slow the city down a bit so the disruption is not quite so high. What I'm kind of doing is creating a parallel line here to take, and that can come in like that. I think what we can do then is just bring that in like that, and you can see the problem we got here. But what that means is that this line now, that the trains coming out and in up this line, which is our passenger line, if I remember correctly, yes, will now have a way out of the city. I think what I really need to do here is build a couple of extra stations. I think, can we get across like that? Yes, that's cool. Let's break this line here. It is going to disturb the flow of the traffic. I think that statue, I think that needs to be moved somewhere. We can put that. See if we can drop you over here somewhere. Maybe I'll put you both side by side, and I think maybe we can come in a bit like that, and certainly want to trim that off. And we're going to put a station in there. And I think what we can do then is this line here. I mean, this is pure speculation, guys. When you do this, you want to take your time, let things settle down before you do too much. I think what we can do now is the line, that line's this way, okay. And of course you need lots and lots of cash to do this. And we'll get that line connected that way. Because we've got a water problem. Right, that should connect up that. And then what I want is this line. Come off like that. And come up. And I think you come in like that. That provides a direct link between this station and this station. I know some of you guys will say, well, you could build a road from here. And I could build a highway link from here, because what's happening is you've got goods coming in here, which are flowing down here to this station, and then getting on the train to come to this area. You could build a road from here across here and into here, but I haven't really laid this part of the city out for road traffic, so it'd be a bit of a pain in the neck to actually try and lay that out. And I think what I'm actually going to do here is going to be a bit overkill, but I think I can get away with it. There. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, that's all there is to it. I think do is literally, I think can do is back that. I'll put another. Bugger, that's too close. Okay. I should have considered that first. Okay. Let's delete that. Right. Let's delete that off. And it's getting dark again. I'm just going to pause the game while I finish this off, guys, because I want to finish this off. What we'll do is, I mean, I could come out and no, I don't think I'll do that. Just I think maybe we can out like literally. I think I need to take this off just to get this up and running. Like that. Hopefully this will fit on. No, it still won't fit in. Okay, there is a solution to this. Solution. And that is just come here, strike a height there, and I think we can just. I don't normally do this, guys, very often, but sometimes you can justify it. Let's bring this out a little bit like this. Say the city has decided it needs to reclaim land a little bit. Should be it. Yeah. And let's take this out. That. I know some of you will say that this is a bit of overkill, but part of learning how to build these cities is kind of just doing things that you want to do. And of course what we can do now is be a bit tricky. I think if we get up, I think what we can do is just come down like that. Just going to unpause the game again now. So what we've now got is this station surfacing that area. So we've got this one to be connected as well. That. So what we've got now is we've got this one. I think I can speed the game up a little bit now. And we've got power lines here. Hopefully this side of the city. Maybe we need to an uneven power distribution now. Let's check the water. Yeah, the water's just about hanging in there. Of course, I can't see the little torch, which is not particularly that effective, guys. So this kind of demonstrates why when you see people like me building cities in YouTube, you don't have After Dark on. It makes building, especially in new areas, very, very tricky. But hopefully now what should happen is we've got a direct link from this station across to this one. This will draw in traffic from here. I think maybe what we can do is take that out. What we can do is put a road up through there like that. So if something gets delivered here and wants to go out to Ortown, they've got an option that way. Then you've got the trains that will fit in. Let's just do it in cinematic. I think this is the real way to appreciate the city at night. I mean, this is the external link. And it goes to show that the main traffic was being caused by supplies going to and from Ortown. This is the external link from this side of the city, and of course by having the two stations on the one line has actually split the amount of import traffic. So, but again, when you mess about like this, take your time, let it settle, because it causes a major disruption, because it means that vehicles coming in from this part of the city may just simply disappear once you break the links. So it takes a little while for the city to settle down again. You can see here now the imports and exports to this side of the city are now picking up a little bit, but based on seeing the trains here now, I think we've kind of cracked it. And of course what we've got is the passenger lines now coming in, and the trains flowing down to here are running a little bit better. Oh, we've got the whole mast here. Really, really like that. The Aurora Borealis, or was it Aurora Australis? If this was a city in the southern hemisphere. You can see now the sun's just coming up over the city. I think maybe we can just come back. I mean, this is the real kind of beauty of after dark. As I say, it is the way to appreciate your city, and the way it is. Just watch the sun come up. Look at that. Let's get down in. There, as the sun comes up over the city. There's a little bit fringing on the lighting there. Got this kind of lighting. The lighting is incredibly good actually for the game. And I suppose it's time if I can reorientate myself back out. Get back over this side of the city again. And we'll just keep an eye on the train network. I mean, it does look a bit like Spaghetti Junction down here, and it is a little bit messy. We don't need this now. And I think what you could probably do is, but when you are solving these problems, guys, is don't worry too much about the aesthetics. I mean, strictly speaking, we probably don't need that connection anymore. That connection could probably come out now, because this station will only be exporting stuff to this side of the map. Anything that's going out will go that way. So we don't really need that extra connection now. That kind of tidies it all up a little bit. And you can see now, I think we've got cracked most of the train problem. And of course, this is again, this had a major contribution as it kind of split away some of the demand from this side of the city. Talking of demand, I know there's lots of demand down here, but when the city gets really big like this, you don't let these RCI meters drive your decisions. You can afford to relax a little bit, kind of do a few things, and I think maybe, oops, it's a two-way road, one-way road. Maybe we need to put these back on again. Maybe we can drop a little bit of it. Oops, we're getting water problems now. Definitely. This is developing because this is a long way away from the water pumps, so maybe we need to drop in some water pumps. And this lake is relatively untouched, so let's just click that up. Of course, the sewage is backing up a little bit, guys, so yeah. And we got the sewage outfalls here. I could really do with building another tile up here, but we're just gonna have to. That should. Of course, we've still got a bit of flooding over here. I think our pumping stations will be able to deal with that. And the city's high up now. Got a little bit of sanitation problems there. And again, when the city gets to this size, don't really need to worry too much about, you know, putting offices in. So like I can put in some offices down here like that. As I say, once the city gets to a certain size, you've got your basic industry in. So now you can put a few more offices in, get the city running. Get here. How's the education? So what am I doing? Brain fade. High school. Right, let's have some fun, guys. Got 93,000. Let's get in. Where can we put some residential? suppose what I can do is keep growing out this area, although I am aware that we got a trash issue over here, so I think maybe that we got a lot of, I mean, we could put in some garbage collection on here. Obviously it's probably the density of the traffic on this side that's causing a bit of a problem with the trash, but we could drop another trash one in. Incinerator. I mean, we're not using all the incineration capability. I think the problem is it's taking a long time for trash trucks to get all the way over here. So I think what we can do is kind of come out like that. And what you want to do is keep your trash away from there. Actually, we haven't checked the pollution, have we? You can see here Eden doesn't take away all the pollution, it just takes away a certain amount. I mean, this is better than it was, but there's still some pollution here. For some reason, oh, that's the incinerators. So I think what we can do is get back over here. I think we can just drop some incinerators in here. That'll probably tell me that I need water. Yep. Know that. I think what we can do is actually start to maybe put a little bit of now. This is one of the advantages for After Dark. If you're building up an established area, it's actually not too bad. Don't want to come out too far on this side. Okay. Sometimes it just won't connect through because the distance is too short due to the gridding. And I think what we can do is just come out like this. And I think what we can do is literally zone in high density this way. I think we put a whole line of offices out like this. Also, what I am going to do is come here, turn this off, and I think what we can do is put a pathway just like that, put another pathway like that, and we got a water issue. Okay. What we could do is just check here. Yeah, we've got. This is a fairly noisy area anyway, so I think what we could do is freelance a little bit of don't really want that connected. Can come out like that. I think we'll just put some light commercial just tucked in here, just to provide local shopping. And of course, we can do just to keep the noise level down is put some offices in here like that. A bit of offices up here and offices down here, and you can see we're slowly creeping up. I think the city's building up really, really well at the moment. And what have we got here? Be something like not enough goods to sell. Now that could be the result of my disruption. So I'm not going to worry too much about that because I disrupted my rail links over here. That could cause a problem. But it could also be due to the fact that, wow, That is busy. Busy, 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 busy. Now, could put a road connection through. Have some water problems there. And yeah, there's a lot of deliveries going on in this part of the city, guys. Probably a lot of it's flowing around to here because, of course, this is the new. But what I could do, well, is how am I going to get a link off of here? Could do is out like that. And I do like my station links like that. Could do is take a line, railway line, right across like this, get it go up. Bugger. Okay. Well, as the saying goes, if you can't go over, go under. Won't let that connect. And of course, if you get a nice, really long line, that you can come back up again. And what you should be able to do is get in a connection like that. That should do now is open up a rail line that will feed directly into here. Of course, we got. I think you can connect to there, to there. It'll probably take a little while to take effect, but it will mean that vehicles that want to receive direct deliveries from this side of the from here will bring in goods that will be shipped directly into here. Then that should ease off a little bit of the pressure. Now, the other thing you also need to be aware, guys, is there is a traffic cycle in this game, especially in industrial areas. If you watch it, it's difficult to, can be difficult to spot. But what you will actually see is that it normally associates with the night zone. Wow. Kind of bit inclined. Put a link through there like that. That's it. That's chipped off that a bit. Got that flowing a little bit. Even a minor road change like that will happen. What you will see sometimes is that we certainly got a bit of a traffic problem along here. Let's have a quick look, guys. I mean, it's not static. Again, when you've got a city that's really big like this, I mean, we're pushing 100,000. You are going to get these red areas where the traffic's very, very busy, and there's not much you can actually do about it. But as long as the traffic's actually moving, this is a little bit of a concern here. I think maybe this will be an area to work on in the future, because what you've actually got here is a kind of a traffic flow around here. But sometimes what you will get though is these surges of traffic, and then over time it will break up and move away. Yeah, this is a bit too close together. I think what we could do, that, delete that, make it into a wider one-way round loop. That, yeah, that's easing things off a little bit. I mean, sometimes that's all you really need to do is a change like that, and maybe we can take out that loop there. Oops, I deleted the highway by mistake. And I don't think that's going to let me think through. And I think maybe we take that out. And of course I've temporarily caused a traffic problem. I deleted the bit of the highway there. I think I've probably made the situation worse, but it will sort itself out. Sometimes you just got to wait for it to sort out, guys. I mean, it's not backing up there, and it's eased off. It's this junction's. I think maybe what I need to do is away from that junction. Sometimes it's just a matter of having the two junctions close together, and by moving the junction away it just improves the flow like that. So this is now turning back a little bit. I mean, there are ways of doing this, like start with getting rid of the power lines. What can do sometimes, though this can be tricky. I don't think this will. What you need to do is come up. Just like that. I mean, sometimes you just got to experiment a little bit, guys, like that. And sometimes they just don't take it. It just has no effect like that. Because the path is longer. This is the better path than that. Yeah, I think that was a waste of time. Oh no, there's a little bit of traffic picking up now. Easing across the city, but you've got to be very careful when you start doing this, guys, because you can start. Oh, look at that! Wow, you've got another forest fire, but you've got the old fire helicopters in now, fighting on the dark, and a blimp. Luckily, it's not probably filled with hydrogen; it's probably filled with helium, so that it doesn't actually explode. I mean, the last thing you want is a blimp landing in a fire area. Anyway, guys, I think this is it. We're just going to watch the sun come up again. We've got some more issues here, but again, I think some of this is due to the fact that I've been messing about with the city, disrupting the traffic flows, because you need to remember that when you're just fiddling around doing bits and pieces, there are consequences to what you do, whether you like it or not. I think I'd be a bit inclined actually just do this before I leave. I know I'm doing it again, guys. I don't think that's gonna. No. Maybe we'll just take that up. Sometimes if you upgrade one of these roads, even when it's not, the faster traffic will draw the traffic in and change the traffic flow a little bit. But it just makes it look a bit scruffy. I mean, that's the compromise you've got to make. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, so this is starting to work, and of course you can see here, because some of the traffic now has been pulled over to here, this is eased off the pressure a little bit on this rail junction here, and that should start to, I mean, we've still got a few problems here. We've got to take out that. And again, when you've got a large city like this, guys, the fact that you've got demand for commercial and you're getting abandoned buildings because of not enough goods flowing in, that shows that I've unbalanced the city a little bit. But sometimes you can just let the city ride it through, and eventually it will settle down. Sometimes you can just come in and delete these buildings. I mean, that's another kind of way to deal with them. It's just remove them, and then what will happen is that the city will rebuild rather than let them going abandoned. Just let the city rebuild, and then eventually they will pull things through, just like that. I mean, there's no real traffic problems over here. It's obviously got something to do with the flow. I mean, I probably need more industrial, to be honest. I think that's probably what I need to think about, because there's probably not enough industrials over here, guys. Just that. Yeah, sometimes it's these, when it says not enough goods to sell, it's the fact that I've got massive industrial demand, and I'm just not producing enough goods, and because I've only got the single road, I'm not being able to import enough either. So maybe what we need is a little bit of a substantial expansion here. I'm just going to do this, guys. Again, I'm aware that I'm drifting off topic. Again, can do is come out like this. Maybe we'll have a fairly large. I think what we can do. Oh, that's power lines. That's okay. I thought a brief moment then it was the rail lines. And what we can do is have a major zone in here. Don't need it on that road. I think this road free, and with that free as well. And we'll have a little bit of industry along here. Can get rid of that power line, don't need it. Of course, we're going to need to put water down before. And just to pep it up a little bit, guys, this is where I'm going to put a crematorium in. Medical centre, maybe put a medical centre just there. And also we'll put a couple of small parks in. What's this? Vertical farm. I don't know if it's a vertical farm. Wow. Tourists. That must be from one of the small DLCs that I bought. Wow, never noticed that before. Okay, we're just going to leave that there actually. And you can see that's now virtually absorbed all the demand, and I think what we probably could do is whack in some high density commercial over here. And again, this is what I was saying about the putting down offices. If you put down too many offices, you do cause this shortage of goods being produced. And I think what we will do is come in like this and make this ordinary. Don't think we need any more ore. I think maybe we can back out make this ordinary generic industry, and I think we'll do the same over here. Don't need masses of ore. Actually, I can trim this back as well. What will happen is these buildings will disappear, then reappear. But I think this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. We've done enough on this night cycle, and the cities are still going. Let's actually just have a quick look. We're up to 98,000. I think I'm coming to the end of this city, guys. I've still got a little bit of problems here, but again, with industry, it takes a little while to work through. But the key question is, do not be paranoid, guys, about these. You can relax a bit. When the city's small, yes, you've got to respond to this, but when the city's large like this, you can afford to kind of chill out a bit, relax, and just let the city work through its problems itself. And it will. I mean, it will solve the problems as the trucks get in and deliver stuff. They will start to solve these problems, and these buildings will get enough goods to sell eventually. The truck will deliver to them. There's a truck there. Oops, they're all still driving past. Never mind. But so we'll just go back to camera mode to finish this part off. And as I was about to say, guys, is I'm getting close to the end of this city. I don't want to take it much more above 100,000 because I don't think the map's really suitable for a mega city, and I think maybe it's time to think about another project. So I'm just going to pose the question to you guys: what would you like to see? Now, just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking of, as I don't want to build another 250,000 city. I've done it several times, but what I am thinking is one map or type of map that I've never done is a snowfall map. I did start one when snowfall came out, but I didn't like the default maps. So maybe I'll do a mass transit in winter. That could be fun. So maybe that's something. I mean, if you want to see something like that, drop a comment and I'll be open to suggestions, or any other type of city. I mean, most of the cities I've built tend not to use assets. Maybe it's time that I started to build a city with assets, and to make it a bit more realistic rather than just a Cities Skylines things. You can see here, this hasn't really worked. I don't think it's, I think it's just it's got to go. I don't like it. Sometimes you've got to accept that your experiments aren't a lot of good, and I think we can just place that zoning that I took away. Yeah, sometimes you've just got to accept that that wasn't something that worked, and I think just by spreading these junctions out, I mean, we've still got a little bit of congestion here. Maybe I will do a little bit of work off camera on this, guys. I mean, I could put roundabouts in here, but that would cause a major disruption. But this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. As I say, I don't think I've got much more to do in this city. Maybe in the next part we will put down some education. And I've still got a little bit of a problem over here. Some abandoned buildings. Mainly due to this problem with delivery. But this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.